Hello, everybody. Welcome to another strategies, tactics, and boosts show for our favorite F1 class game. And as you can see below me, uh, it's Emilia Romagna GP this week. We had our first video for this new season, our first strategies video with the qualifying round of this GP, but hopefully we helped you. And now we are getting, we helped you to qualify to the weekend, to this racing weekend. And now we are going to try to help you get as high as possible. First of all, get to the final and then get the best position you can. As I said in our first video, it's very early in the season and we have a new game in our hands. So basically, this is a guide how to think about not only the tracks, because at this moment we have to think not only the tracks that we're going to race, but we have to think our setup, our drivers, our weaknesses, our where we are, which stats are our best. We have to think everything. We don't have maxed accounts. We have everybody has different setups. So this is more a guide how to think, to race, and then it's let's say definite. It's like something we are 100% sure how to win or how to get the maximum result in a track. So first of all, let's remember that at this point of the season, and it's only a week that we're playing in this season, first of all, we have to see our weaknesses and which track we are racing, and then we are choosing our strategy and our boosts accordingly. Okay, so before starting to analyze every track in GP, in Emilia Romagna GP, let me say that, let me express how sad we feel about what is happening in Italy, and it's very bad what is happening in Italy and in Emilia Romagna region. So let's hope we don't have any more victims there, because last time I checked it was 8 or 9 lives gone from devastating floods. So, and this is why we don't have in real Formula One a racing weekend this week. Anyway, let's first of all let's get back to our game and let's see where we are going to race. Okay, this is it. As you, of course, first and last race is in Imola. First race with high chance of raining. Last race it will be a dry race, and then we have Jeddah, Baku, Sakir Desert, Mexico City, Miami, Melbourne with low chances of raining. Maybe this will mean that we will have mixed conditions or weather changing every 20 seconds, half a minute. We have all seen that, and we have played lots of GPs like that. Don't forget to see the temperatures in every race, because for those of you that don't remember or don't know, high temperatures mean more grip, tires working better, but tires getting uh, degraded much faster. So have that in mind when you are choosing your compounds. Okay, and give me 1 minute. We made uh, okay. Now we are okay, and let's start our presentation, of course, with Imola. We talked about Imola in our first tactics strategies video, so we'll just review it. We have raced in Imola, we have some feedback, so two pit stops, 2-3-3. Don't be afraid if you start at the back of the grid. Don't be afraid to do the undercut. Okay, it doesn't work like last season, but still it will give you some breathing space to push the red button and gain a few positions. It's not like last year, at least not now. Maybe later in the season it will work better, but now it works, but not from P20 to get P3. We can forget this this season. So 2-3-3 for one driver and 3-3-2 for our second driver. First stint here, we push, we don't push, we just cruise around. Third lap, we get our medium tires and then push for the first lap. Power unit cannot be used for more than one lap. It doesn't even last one whole lap. So we push in our first lap, and then we use our next two laps, laps 4 and 5, to recharge our power unit and begin our third stint with mediums. Lap number 6, we recharge our power unit, so we have enough power unit to push when we need in the last two laps, and especially in the last lap. Almost the same tactic here, but we push a little bit in the beginning if we can have a good race start and gain some positions with the softs, but only in the half of the first lap. Then we just go along with all the other cars, try to maintain our position and recharge our power unit. In our second stint with the medium, we push only when we can overtake someone, and that's it. We don't overspend our power, because we want to keep it and to have enough for our third stint with the softs, where we are going to be more aggressive and attack to the cars that are in front of us. Okay, you can choose this strategy, but it's a little bit passive, and you're not gaining more than a couple of positions. Now, we are talking all this for if we are at the back of the grid or in the middle of the grid. But what happens if we are at the top of the grid? If you are at the top of the grid, then soft, medium, medium, and again soft, medium, soft, and soft, medium, medium. This is for driver number 1. If you get P1, push to make a gap, spend all your power to make a gap and lap at the end of the second, and pit at the end of the second lap, and then we just try to maintain our position and recharge our power unit until the last 2 laps. We will be probably maybe P1, P2, P3 in that region, and then at the last 2 laps we are ready to attack with full charged power unit, and we follow the same strategy with our second driver. But in our second driver, if you are at the top of the grid, the first stint you push just a little at the first third of the first lap, and then you need a little bit to conserve, because 3 laps with the softs you cannot push in Imola and at the stage we are, and we need some conserve to get with the softs in lap 3 and to recharge our power unit. Now, if it rains, then we have a different discussion. We raced with rain, and this tactic was equal to this tactic, to this strategy. So, whatever you choose, 2-3-3 if you want the undercut, 3-3-2 if you are in the middle of the pack somewhere, or 4-4, more or less what I got at the back of the grid was the same result. So probably a little bit better with 3-3-2, or of course the undercut. If you start at the top of the grid, you don't need to go 2-3-3, probably 3-3-2, and if you can both your drivers like that, yes, it would be great. Here, as you see, I am choosing Char, because okay, we can do 4 laps in Imola with the wets, but a little bit of tire boosting is needed so we can push even more. So this is why I would prefer Char for this strategy. Okay, track number 2, Saudi Arabia and Jeddah. This is very straightforward, a little bit different at the moment. First of all, it's 7 laps, it's not 8 anymore, and I believe one strategy is the best here. I have seen players trying one pit stop. I think it's very slow, even with so big in time pit stops that we do. uh, 5 seconds, 5.5 seconds pit stops we do, even with so big pit stops. Two pit stop strategy is faster. So driver number one, two, two, three, soft, hard. Only hard compound here can do 3 laps, and softs. Be careful with softs, because you cannot push a lot and do 2 laps. It will need some conserving, so you have to adjust and play with the red and the blue button and the yellow button. But for the first driver, it's soft, hard, and for our second driver, it's hard, soft, medium. And where is the difference here? Our first driver will push a little bit at the beginning, so our second driver here will push a little bit in the beginning, because with hards we are a little bit slow, so we need from time to time, and where the track gives us the opportunity, we push the red button a little bit, so we can be a little fast. Then in our second stint, we go 2 laps softs with no pushing at all. Even if we can conserve in the big straight, so we can recharge our power unit, it would be great, because we need our power unit 100% for the last stint. And for the last stint, we are going to choose mediums, because with mediums we can press the red button and get 100% of our power unit, and we can do 2 laps. If we try to do this with softs, we will run out of tire. So last 2 laps here with the mediums. That's it for Jeddah. I'm not going to tell you about one pit stop strategy. It's too slow. I have never lost against a player who did choose one pit stop. I'm not going to tell you that next week or in a month from now I won't introduce one pit stop strategy. This is with the data that we have at the moment. This is from what we know, and this is from how good our setups and our drivers are. So next, Baku. Again, another track with, be careful, because it's 7 laps, it's not 8 laps anymore. And okay, this is, let's say it, Jeddah is still a fast and furious track. This is a combo track. This means that we need speed and cornering. And for combo tracks, as I said, Merlion, Dead Fast, Koopa, Firework, 2, 2, 3, soft, medium, because we push at the beginning, just recharge in our second stint, and then in our third stint, especially in the last 1.5 laps, 2 laps, we push to get better position. And 3, 2, 2, we start with mediums, so we avoid stacking with our teammate, and then soft, we push a little, a lot with in our first stint with medium, and then we recharge in our second stint. Soft will make us fast in track without needing to push the red button, and final stint we have recharged our power unit and push as much as we can. So again, we attack at the end of the race um, to gain positions. So as I said, Merlion, Deadfast, Koopa, Firework. This is a combo track. So Merlion and Koopa. Let's see here, Merlion. As you can see, it will boost speed and cornering. Koopa is all about, okay, here we are. Koopa is all about cornering and overtaking, and of course a very good race start. But if you want to go to be fast and furious, as I said, this is a combo track, then we have Dead Fast, Firework, and you can see Taurus, another Fast and Furious boost and one of the best, and of course Eclipse, and there is Unstoppable, there is Koopa, not Koopa, Skull. So it's up to you if you want. I would choose Merlion, my first choice. If you are at the top of the grid, especially if you are at the back of the grid or in the middle of the grid, then Koopa probably the best choice for this track, because it will help us have a good start. It's all about cornering and boost a little bit our overtaking. Um, Talking about overtaking, there has been a lot of discussion about overtaking boosts. In my opinion, if you start at the back of the grid or in the middle of the grid and your car setup is average, then what we mostly need is to boost cornering, speed, yes, of course, power unit, but I would mainly choose cornering and speed and race start, and I would leave at the bottom of my list overtaking. If I again say if we have an average setup, when our car is good, then we can think about helping our driver if his overtaking stat isn't so good. At the moment, at this time, at this point of the season, I believe mainly we have to boost our car and secondarily our drivers. So focus in speed, cornering, and of course what the track needs, and then we can see if we can boost something for our driver. My point of view, not that I'm always right, who knows, but this is how I think about this. Okay, so you will see, you will notice that almost in all our tracks, I will give you two choices. This is because this is what worked best as far um, until now. This is what worked best to the races I have done, and I don't want to play the guessing game and say, okay, it would be good if you use this. No, we are at the start of the season. Without me testing some strategies, I I'm not going to tell you, okay, do this. I will like first to try it myself and then give my opinion. So we are in Bahrain, and this is the definition of a combo track. Half track is speeding and half track is cornering. So Merlion, Koopa, Tunin, Prince, Hook, Herald, and Kavai. And now let's see our strategies. 2-3-3, soft, soft, medium. Why that? So mainly, if you are at the back, this is an undercut, and of course, if you are at the top of the grid, we need to start with the fastest compound and try to get P1 as fast as we can. This hasn't changed from last season. Now, in our first stint, if we are at the top of the grid, we push to get P1, and when we get and make a big gap with our with P2, so we can do our pit stop in seconds in the end of the second lap. Okay, if we are in the middle of the grid or at the back of the grid, then we push again. We try to gain, especially if we are in the middle of the grid, we try to gain positions, and we get in the end of the second lap in the pits, and second stint we just leave the yellow button, we go normal speed and recharge our soft will make us fast. That's why we use soft in our second stint, and soft at this level, it's marginal, but it's we can do 3 laps. When we get better tire management, it will be much easier. But now we can do 3 laps on yellow, no problem. And this way we recharge our power unit and get in the third stint with maximized our power and push whenever is needed. There we need mediums, because if we push a lot, the softs can't do 3 laps. We will need to conserve. So, and because at the in our last stint we don't like to conserve but be aggressive, this is why medium and 100% charged power unit. Our second driver pushes a little bit in the first third of the first lap and then try to get to the first pit stop with softs. Then mediums, you can use softs if you like. I suggest mediums because in our first stint we will conserve a lot to do 3 laps with the softs, so we will have power unit to push in second stint. But if we want to be ready only for the last stint, then instead of mediums, you can use soft on yellow and a fully charged power unit, or you can push and then conserve and then again push and then again conserve. But this depends on your gameplay style. And of course, again, last stint we give it all. We try to have maxed out our power unit so we can push as hell. Okay, Mexico City. You can say that this is a combo track, but mainly this is a cornering track. Okay, we have two straights, one big and one medium, but mainly it's a cornering track. I will say again, Merlion is probably the boost with the most with the biggest diversity, because we can use it in fast tracks, we can use it in cornering tracks. So probably my favorite for this season. And well, we'll see. We'll see when we're going to get some, because we don't have a lot. Uh, so, Mexico. Mostly we need to be fast in corners. So, Merlion, Kupat, Hunin, Prince, and you will see Hook, Herald, Kavai. This is the best uh, cornering and a little bit combo boosts we can use. 233. Okay, I have. Okay, I this is my mistake. Okay, don't. It's okay. I forgot to change the strategies. Is 233 and of course 332 for our second driver. But for our second driver, 332, it will be 3 with soft, then 3 with medium, and 2 with soft, or 3 3 2 all softs, but we have to be a little bit more conservative with pushing in the middle stint, in the first two stints. Okay. uh Miami. Now, last season, we were saying that Miami and Jeddah are exactly the same tracks, and we followed the same strategy in both of them. Where Miami, as Jeddah, was cut down to 7 laps, but the compounds now are different. If you remember, in Jeddah we used hard, soft, soft, and hard, soft, medium, because we need medium to do 2 laps and push a lot in Jeddah. Well, here we only need mediums and softs. So soft, soft, medium, and of course the best of the best of Fast and Furious speeding boosts. And the best speeding boost we have now in the game are Taurus, Deadfast, Skull, Eclipse, Street Shark, Unstoppable, Firework, and last, because it's the less effective in speed, Hex. These 8 boosts are what you need when you are going to what you're going to choose when you need speed. Now, if you need speed and a very good race start, then this is your choice, Street Shark. If you need a lot of power unit and full speed, Taurus. We need some tire management and power unit and maximum speed, as it was dead fast. Good race start, overtaking, and almost maximum speed, Firework. So as you can see, let's go to Skull, which is top speed, some power unit boosting, and good overtaking, excellent speed boost. So as you can see, we have these are the best speed boosts, and depending on the weaknesses of your setup and of your drivers, you can accordingly choose what to use. Here, as you can see in my last stint, I ride 2 laps with mediums, so you can push a lot. If you don't like to use mediums, you can go with softs, but be careful how much you push, because 2 laps and a lot of pushing in Miami at the moment is not something is not doable. Okay, and let's go in our last track, which is Australia, Melbourne. You know, the nightmares we had last season that we couldn't overtake in Melbourne. Well, these nightmares are gone. You can freely overtake wherever you want and whenever you want in Melbourne. And Melbourne is a cornering track, clearly a cornering track. So this is why we're going to see our best cornering boosts, which are Merlion, Koopa, Tunin, Char, Hook, Jin, Movember, Prince. I believe these are okay. We can add Kawai in it, of course, and Herald, maybe, but yeah, let me see, because now I'm a little bit. Yes, of course, and Herald and Kawai, but we have lots of good cornering boosts. Now, first strategy, and it works perfectly. One pit stop, medium, hard. You can do medium, medium, but you won't be able to push almost almost never. You're not going to push the red button. Medium is going to take you 4 laps and maybe 1/3 of a lap pushing. That's it. So we choose medium for the start of the race, and we will push at the start of the race, try to gain as much positions as we can, and after the first third of the first lap, we just press the yellow button and leave it there. At the end of the fourth lap, we will get in for our pit stop, put on hards, and then we will have a fully charged power unit, and then for 4 laps we can manage when to push the red button to get faster with hards, and when to not conserve, because hards and conserve are a disaster, when to push the yellow button and recharge. And this will be a game of red yellow, a constant red yellow changing for your second stint. It works perfectly. I liked it a lot. I thought that hards would be a disaster, but it's not in Australia. So when we use hards to push, is okay. If you decide to use hards and conserve and not push the red button at all, then it's a disaster. You are going way too slow. Hards can be useful when we need more tire, more more tire life, so we can push in our stint. Don't use a compound, hards or mediums, just to go slower 1 lap more. This is a recipe for disaster. You just slow down your rhythm and everyone will overtake you. So we use harder compounds only when we need more tire to push, not to go one lap more. And of course, the second strategy, 3-3-2, all softs, easily done, and you can push, and of course, not push all the time, but you can push and then go on yellow and do 3 laps with softs easily. So don't even think twice to put on the softs and be fast. Both of these strategies work just nice. Now, if it rains, we have 10% um, chance of raining. Then again, the same strategies, the same boosts. 4-4 for your one driver and 3-3-2 for your second driver. You could do 4-4 or 2 pit stops in both your drivers, but I think that our drivers at this moment, and especially when we are in the middle of the pack or at the back of the pack, we cannot, and with the pit times so big, we cannot avoid stacking using the same strategy. Even if you start P1, P2, because you cannot push 2 laps the red button and make a big gap and do your pit and then get your second driver do his pit too at the same lap. So at the moment, same strategy for both drivers, probably a mistake. We will have stacking and probably a lot of stacking. So try to pit in different laps your drivers. Okay, I believe I can fly. No. So, keep in mind uh, what we said at the beginning. Keep in mind that choosing your boosts depends on the weaknesses of your car and the track, and lastly, the weaknesses of your driver. This season, the game is mostly about the car and secondarily about the driver. So focus on getting the best stats for your car depending the track you are racing, and then look how you're going to make better the attributes of your driver. So let's come on. Okay, let's see again our tracks. Imola with 67% raining, Jeddah, Baku, Bahrain, Mexico, Miami, all dry races, Melbourne, Australia with 10% chance of raining, and finally again we go back in Imola for a dry race, and for a dry race with very high temperatures, as we can see the same in Miami. So what I said in Miami about mediums in the last stint, maybe think and do it. Don't go for softs in your last stint, because with this temperature you won't be able to push. Softs will be faster with this temperature, but it won't last for 2 laps. So maybe we need for sure we're going to choose mediums for our last stint in Miami. Okay, so that's it. We've done it again. This is the end of the second strategies, tactics, and boosts uh, for this new season. And believe me, we are in our first week. This means that every week we are going to have different feedback and data, and probably more strategies to propose to you, and maybe different boosts, and everything is about testing uh, the next couple of months probably. So we're going to see all these graphics changing, and all the strategies probably will change, but at the moment I think that these are the best choices we can do. I hope that we're going to help you and get to the final, and then get a good position in the final. Give us give me your feedback at the section at the comments section. If you have tried something else, give us your feedback about your own strategies, and let us uh, test them and see if we can use them or not. So thank you for watching. Have a nice racing weekend, and see you next time. Bye.